Hi, I'm Sam Claflin and I'm here at Dream It Conventions. I actually didn't keep anything from the Hunger Game world, other than the magic memories that were made whilst we filmed. Yeah, I very rarely keep props or costumes. I've now realised that that's been a mistake and I should be more sentimental and keep my characters bits. But yeah, I mean obviously many very magic moments were made whilst we filmed, and I kind of carry that with me. I don't think any. I think the whole point of the Hunger Games is they're trying to uprise against all the rules and the regulations. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like how the victors are celebrated, like Finnick being one of them, and they continue to be celebrated. I feel like people should be celebrated for their endeavours in the world and continue to be celebrated. Not kind of manipulated and forced into another quarter quell 75 years later. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely opportunity for more celebration within this society. The last film that made me cry was... I recently watched The Notebook again, and I don't know if you yourself watched The Notebook, but it's definitely a tearjerker. And I think every time I've watched that movie, it's moved me to tears. I don't think there's been anything new that has pushed me over the edge, not film-wise anyway. I'm trying to think in TV, it kind of, I feel like it regularly happens. And that's usually down to like distressing imagery or like very happy endings rather than things that are sad. The most challenging role I played today, I think would probably be a film I did called The Nightingale, which I shot in Australia, Tasmania about 6 years ago, 5 years ago, where I played like a British officer who went over to Australia and kind of was trying to cleanse the sort of country or island of Australia, bringing prisoners over. He was just a very vile man. I think after 3 months of living in physical mental torment of being a very aggressive and villainous character, it was pretty horrendous. So I'd say that was challenging for all the wrong reasons. But you know, nevertheless I sort of learned a lot during that experience. The magical thing about this job, about working with so many different people, is that you kind of learn something different from everyone. I think everyone approaches work differently, and sort of through my career, even through my training at drama school, I think every director approaches work differently. You kind of take things from every single person. So like out of all my experiences, out of my personal kind of challenges, I've sort of adopted my own method of working, which I don't think is a method, but like there is of course a method to my madness, and the way I read a script, the way I learn my lines, it's kind of my own thing, but I think I've adopted things from a lot of people I admire. To list just a few names of people, great people who I worked with: Cillian Murphy through Peaky Blinders, obviously just a wonder of a man as an actor and a human being. Paul Bettany, I loved working with him on film called Journey's End. Stephen Graham, I've worked with a couple of times, and he remains a very good friend. And like he just sort of approaches work so full on and intensely. Yeah, I mean, honestly, the list goes on and on. I feel like there's not one specific person, there's just like an array of different people. So I've become an amalgamation of all those people. If I just played a biopic, who or what would that be? I don't know if I could do that. I feel like I'm good at impersonating people. I don't think that I could adopt the full qualities of another person. And I don't know that I would enjoy the pressure of that. I have played a real person, Oswald Moseley in Peaky Blinders, and a character or an ex-footballer called Duncan Edwards in a small TV film called United. And both of them were incredibly rich and fulfilling in ways of like doing research and finding out about the character. But I don't know, maybe a biopic of my own life, I would play myself. But I think that even then I'd rather have someone else portray me, because I don't think I'm that interesting. I don't know, maybe my little brother, I don't know. Pirates of the Caribbean 4 was, a full-on dream come true. It's one of those things that I never assumed or could have imagined that sort of level or weight of a job kind of ever happening to me. I think through drama school, I thought theatre was my only option, if that. And then, within a year, I think I had my audition and got cast in Pirates of the Caribbean. I'll never forget being sat at the table during like the script read-through, and next to me on one side was Penelope Cruz and the other side was Johnny Depp, and it was just like if I could go back now and talk to that Sam and say just enjoy the ride. I think I was such a rabbit in headlights, a deer in headlights, that I couldn't really fully enjoy it. I was so consumed by trying to impress people and being a good person that actually I just wished that I sort of enjoyed the experience more. But it was amazing. I was so well looked after. The cast were amazing and so welcoming, and I would love and relish the chance to do something like that again. What would I like to play next? I don't know. I feel very, very fortunate with the kind of array of different characters and job titles that I've portrayed. I definitely have enjoyed all of them for different reasons. There's no sort of specific direction I want to go in or that I see myself going in. I most recently over the last few years, became a dad, and that's become such a huge part of my life. So one of the things that I'm kind of keen on exploring further is the sort of vulnerability of being a parent, and being a reasonably young, or what's considered a young parent now. I feel like with parenthood comes like a new level of like sensitivity and vulnerability and understanding of the world and love, I guess, depth of love, and I'd love the opportunity to kind of pursue that a little further and use my experience to sort of spread the word and share the wealth. So, in all honesty, I did not know who Oswald Moseley was before getting the phone call from production to see if I was interested in maybe taking the role. I was aware of Peaky Blinders, but I wasn't like a big fan in the sense I'd only seen a couple of episodes up to this point. However, the episodes I had seen I loved. So what happened is I started watching the show. I watched all 4 series within a matter of days. I think it was 3 days I watched the 4 series and fully, immediately signed the dotted line. I was like, how can I be involved? Please let me be involved. And they'd only sent me like episodes 1 and 2 of series 5, which was like just the introduction, barely even the introduction of Oswald Moseley into that world. And it was then I started doing research, kind of finding out who he was, and started watching footage. There's only little that's sort of available, but watching him deliver these sort of passionate, enraged speeches, and it was a fascinating character for me to dive into, because it was so sort of far removed from who I am and what my beliefs are, and what most people's beliefs are nowadays, thankfully. But yeah, it was as another challenge, and one that I was very fortunate to be kind of very well supported by Stephen Knight and Anthony Byrne, the director. I think they kind of really assisted me in kind of finding who the character was. I don't know. I feel so fortunate to have had the career I've had so far, and episode so far. I don't think I could have ever predicted the next role that I have coming. Honestly, I have to say, in my experience, I've done a lot of like romantic comedies, and for me, that's the genre that I enjoy watching a lot. And so I think really well-written British comedy is something that I would like to explore further. Be it in the romantic realm or otherwise. I don't know is the answer to that question really. I think I read a good script and I'm like, I never imagined myself doing that, but this is interesting, this interests me. So I think any good writing with good people, I'll jump on the shot. If I can play with anyone, dead or alive. No, again, the list goes on and on. There's so many people in this industry that I admire. I'd love to do a Spielberg movie. I'd love to do a Scorsese movie. I don't know that I'm ever quite right for anything that those guys do, but equally a great technician and an incredibly gifted director, obviously Christopher Nolan. I worked with Edgar Wright on a very small little cameo part in his film Last Night in Soho. And I would love the opportunity to kind of work with him, just because he works so differently to any other director I've experienced. And it was such a short stint that I'd love the opportunity to kind of delve into that a bit further. But yeah, I mean, the list is endless. There's so many people, so many actors, so many directors that I would love to work with and work for. Best series, TV series. Of this generation. Gosh. I mean, there are different series for different things. I'm a personal lover of Succession. I think, again, I don't know that anyone dislikes that series. It's so well written and so well acted and directed, and all those characters are so flawed, but you still somehow root for them and addicted to them. It's just really clever. On top of that, there was The Newsroom, which I admire and loved, the Aaron Sorkin series. There was Game of Thrones, and very, very different. To imagine a world where there are dragons and warring kind of kingdoms, and I mean that in and of itself is so impressive and admirable and exciting and action-packed. So bringing the drama and incredible acting and incredible writing. I'm thoroughly enjoying House of Dragon at the moment. I have very high hopes with the direction it's headed. So yeah, I don't know that there's a one definitive answer for that. There are so many very, very important series out there at the minute. Sex Education is wonderfully funny but informative and kind of inspirational. Euphoria is like to the next level of kind of importance, I think, for the younger generation especially. So yeah, I mean, the list goes on. I would say, for me, honestly, it would come down to one of two roles that I've played. One being Journey's End. It was a film where I played like a young officer who's an alcoholic. It was originally a play, and they made a film on a very, very shoestring budget. It managed to kind of attract some incredible actors. As I think I mentioned, Paul Bettany, Stephen Graham, Asa Butterfield, Toby Jones. I mean, it was just like a really, no one did it for the money, everyone did it for the passion and the fact that it was just a really, really beautiful story. And having the opportunity to, I think, play alongside some incredible actors and make something out of nothing, in a sense, with nothing, was something I'm very proud of. Hardly anyone saw it, unfortunately, but it was still just one of those ones that I'm very, and it's because we didn't have the money or the budget to throw it out there, but I think, yeah, just overall, at being such a teamwork and collaborative team effort and collaborative effort, I'm really sort of proud of that experience. But also most recently there's a TV series that is not yet out where I play a rock star and I could not play guitar before I started. When I got the part, I could not play guitar. I had to be the front man of the band, so I had to record 10, 15 songs and learn songs on guitar and having to learn how to move. I'm sort of proud of how far I came. Like whether or not it's far enough is not for me to determine, but I'm proud of how far I came during that experience and the sort of work that was created by the other people around me. So I look forward to the world seeing that. I think every script, every story is different, and sometimes it's the script, sometimes it's the director and the script, sometimes it's the director, the script and the actors, sometimes it's just one of the three, sometimes it's where it's shooting and how long it's shooting. It depends really. Like for me, I think it has to be a combination of one of those things or all of those things that will make me choose to do something. For me, I love my job. I love working, and I hope I can continue to do that.